So our next person for absolute monarchs is going to be Louis XIV. Should be the third guy. So right here you write Louis, and then let's take a look at who Louis was. So Louis is the King of France. So let's take a look at where France is. It's this area here, the blue area. So just for a review, this is Spain, so it's Philip's kingdom. This is Elizabeth's kingdom here. That's Queen Mary, Queen of Scots, right there. Now, back to Louis. So Louis is known as the Sun King because he saw himself as the center of the kingdom. He becomes king at the age of 5, and then he takes over from the people who were helping him as he was a child at the age of 22. So at age 22 is when he really is in charge of his own kingdom. He declares as king that he is subject to no one. So that leads to this famous quote, "L'État, c'est moi." I am the state, l'État, c'est moi. And the idea that he is really into is that idea of divine right, or that his power comes directly from God. And he is a guy whose goal is to make his kingdom and himself as rich as possible. So when you think of Louis, this Palace of Versailles is what you should think of. So we're going to take a look at it. So here you can see the outside of the palace and the amazing gardens that he built. And remember, this is built in 1700s. It's got all of these fountains inside the gardens. Absolutely amazing outside. Marble columns, fountains, all just incredible. And there you can see the palace in the background, the French flag. And then let's take a peek inside. So these are the courtyards. These are all apartments, mostly in here, as well as the king's, the rooms the king would be using. So here is the interior. So Louis wanted to show off how rich he was, but he also had a second reason for building this palace. So the palace is built about 30 miles outside of Paris, and his goal was to build this enormous, mind-blowingly beautiful palace, which does two things. It will show off how rich he is, plus it will give him a whole bunch of apartments, and in those apartments he invites the nobles of France to come live. So he does this with the idea that if they move out of Paris and they're in his palace away from the city, he's able to keep them under his watch in his house, and they will not be able to have secret meetings to cause him trouble. So his idea is he won't have to worry about the nobles causing him any trouble. If they're living in his house, he can always know what they're doing. It'll be hard for them to have secret meetings, and that makes him and France more powerful. So you just saw a whole bunch of the Palace of Versailles. So with Louis, Versailles is the best example of how he centralized power and tried to control what was going on in his country.